Guten Tag und willkommen. Welcome to Pilbology. This is a beginner's level video which can be found in the beginner's level section of the YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking about in der Stadt. So in the city or in town. Colloquially, in English we'd say in town. You can see on the right hand side we've got some nouns which I have color coordinated. There's a reason I've color coordinated them, which I shall explain now. The ones in blue are masculine nouns. The ones in red are feminine nouns, and the ones in green are neuter. So masculine obviously means der, feminine means die, and neuter means das. Right. You're going to see why that's important in a few moments' time. So let's just focus on what you can see in the middle here, which is this wo ist. Wo ist means where is. Wo ist. So if I'm in town and I'm a bit lost and I'm kind of looking around and trying to find out where certain things are, I would need this question. This would be something I would ask. Wo ist der Park? Where is the park? If I'm supposed to meet my friends there, then I would need to know that. Or if you actually need some food, wo ist der Supermarkt? If you want to send a letter back home because you're stuck in Germany to tell them to send you an SOS package, wo ist die Post? Wo ist die Kirche? Kirche is the church. Wo ist die Schule? The school. And so on. So, with all of these, they become a question. So, wo ist der Park? Okay, so let's just focus quickly on how we could actually answer this question. In order to answer this question, you would, if someone asked it of you, you would then need to explain where that particular place was. So the park is X, or the post office is there. The way that we do this in German is as follows. So very simply, the answer would be, if you wanted to, if you were answering the question, where is the park? You would quite simply say, der Park, okay, because it's der Park, it's in blue, so it's masculine, ist in der Blaustraße. Now Blaustraße literally just means blue street. The word for Straße in German is, the word for street in German is Straße. Now, normally it's die Straße, but as we've seen in our previous unit, this little word here, in, when it's referring to a location, means that the die changes to the der. So as we've seen with, you can't have in and die Küche, for in the kitchen, you would have to say in der Küche. And the same thing applies here. So you are saying the park is in the blue street. Yeah? In English, we would say on Blue Street. It's or it's on the High Street, or it's on the A38. Okay, but in this sense we would say in the. So in der Park ist in der Blaustraße. And of course the same thing applies for all these other ones. So if you had a feminine one, you would say die Post, and likewise one of the das words, das Kino, ist in der Blaustraße. So that is how you would answer the question. Okay, so now let's quickly go back to the point of this masculine, feminine, neuter. Let's very quickly move this out the way. And now this view might make it easier for you to understand. So we wouldn't always necessarily reply with the park is in der Blaustraße, right? Der Park ist in der Blaustraße, or die Post. You might want to just call it. Where's the supermarket? It is on Blue Street, or it is on the A38. We would say this it. Now in German, this is where the importance of the masculine, feminine, neuter comes in. Because there are, in actual fact, 3 ways of saying it. And I will demonstrate those to you now. So for the masculine, it would be er, similar to he. it's still referring in this case to it, so the park. For the feminine, it would be sie. Don't forget that the S is not a S sound, it is a Z sound, a Z sound. So and sie, sie. So wo ist die Post? Sie ist in der Blaustraße. And finally, wo ist das Café? You would use es. Es ist in der Blaustraße. Or es ist in der Rotstraße. Okay, so all of these words here just simply mean it. And that is why it's important to know the difference between the masculine, the feminine, and the neuter. How do you do this? Simply when you learn the vocabulary, just learn whether they're masculine, feminine, or neuter. And hopefully the way that I've color coordinated them here, which is the generally accepted way, is also helpful to you. So at this point, I would like you to take the time to write out some example sentences. I would like you to write out the following in German. Firstly, where is the park? How would I write that in German? Where is the park? How would I write, where is the school? And how would I write, where is the cafe? Now, for all of these, I would like you just to add a response. And I would like you to either use the noun, so der Park, die Post, or das Kino, or whichever one you choose, or using the er, sie, and s. If you're going to write out 3 or 4 examples, make sure that at least one of them uses the er, sie, and the s to show that you've understood how to say it when referring to the masculine, feminine, and neuter. Do that now. Okay, so now we're going to focus on another practical application of the language. I will move these over here out the way so that you can still see them for reference. But now we're going to focus on saying what there is in the city. Okay? The way that we do this in German is by using the following. So in German you have these 2 amazing little words here, and if this isn't the most exciting thing that you've ever heard all day, then you have no soul. Es gibt. Es gibt quite literally means there is or there are. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one you're using, whether it's singular or plural. It's always there is or there are. So if I want to say what there is in my city, what kind of things to do there are or sights to see, this is what I'd say. Es gibt. Now if you look up here, we've got all these different nouns, all these different places that you would find in a city. Well, they all have what's called an article, and that's what makes them masculine, feminine, or neuter. So there's der, die, and das. Now in German, we simply replace these with what's called an indefinite article. So these are definite articles, and we would substitute them with an indefinite article. Okay, and the indefinite articles are either going to be ein, eine, or ein. Okay, so let's work backwards this way. If I wanted to say there is a cinema, I would say es gibt ein Kino. Brilliant. Easy, straightforward. If I wanted to say there is a church, I would say es gibt eine Kirche. And if then I wanted to say there is a park, I would have to make one slight change. And that slight change would be, rather than saying es gibt ein Park or es gibt ein Bahnhof or ein Supermarkt, I would say, es gibt einen Park. Okay, so the only change, the only difference is here on the der words. Again, another reason why it's important to know whether they're masculine, feminine, or neuter, and we're going to work on that more in class. So we have the das words, es gibt ein Kino. The die words, es gibt eine Kirche. So take a moment now to write down some examples to show that you can understand this. So, I just want you to write the following sentences. There is a school. There is a cafe. There is a park. There is a train station. So for all of those, you can pause the video and take some time to write them out and make sure you understand. Make sure you check whether they are the der, the die, or the das, so that you know whether you need to say ein, eine, or einen. Now, the final thing that we're going to look at is how to expand on all this information to actually create a much more complex sentence, but using some very simple steps. So again, for reference, I will put this over here. And we're going to start constructing a sentence. So if I was writing a paragraph, or I wanted to explain to somebody what there was in my city, normally I would start the sentence with in der Stadt, so in town or in the city or in the town. Or I might even choose to say in meiner Stadt. In meiner Stadt, which means in my town or in my city. Notice that this follows on. You have the in der. Normally it's die Stadt, but the in changes it to der. So in der Stadt. And that same er ending is added here to the mein, which makes it in meiner Stadt. So if we were writing that grammatically correctly, we would make sure that we would say in my city. Now, I've told you that the word for there is, the words for there is are es gibt, which is absolutely right. So you have a subject and a verb. Now, whenever some information comes before the subject in a sentence, generally that will be an adverbial phrase or an adverb, so something that precedes the verb, you change the word order. And the same thing applies here. So we would say, for example, in meiner Stadt gibt es. So there is. And now I can start using the nouns that I had up here, but in this form, using the indefinite article. Remember, these are the indefinite. Definite, indefinite. Definite, indefinite. Okay? So, in my city, or in my town, there's a cinema. In meiner Stadt gibt es, you got it, ein Kino. In meiner Stadt gibt es eine Schule. And in meiner Stadt gibt es, finally, a park. You got it. Einen. Remember that the change is here only on the masculine, because think of it as the boys always want to be different, don't they? So, einen Park. And remember that all nouns in German are capitalized. Okay, it's an easy way to lose mark if you're taking an exam, and it also looks far nicer when you're writing a letter or writing a postcard, for example, to maybe a German pen pal or an email or what have you. Okay, so that is going to cover the first part of our topic on in der Stadt. I hope you've made some notes, and I hope you're now going to write out some examples just to make sure that you understand that after using in der Stadt or in meiner Stadt, that the gibt es comes next. So the verb is always the second idea. So here's the first idea, second idea. And again, to show that you know the difference between saying eine, and einen, and when to use them and with which words. Okay, I would also recommend that you have a list of words, for example, taking these 9 here, so that you've got some for the masculine, some for the feminine, and some for the neuter when we come to explaining things in class. See you soon. Cheers.